Welcome to this new mini-series where I'm going to be rebuilding my 350 Pontiac V8 to go back in my bright green Pontiac. Finally! This video's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for parts for way too long. They're now here. I've also got some new gaskets and all sorts of bits I'll go through in a moment. But first I want to have a quick chat about the sponsor for this video. eManual Online do electronic manuals for cars. They've got manuals for my midget, they've got a manual for the Volkswagen Transporter here. They've got obviously a manual for the Pontiac I'll be going through with you in a moment. They've got a manual for a Ford Sierra. They have pretty much any car. You can get 22% off by using the code I'll put here. But if you want to order yours between the 12th and 14th of February, there's a special Valentine's sale where you can get 30% off, which I'll put the code here. Now I'll talk more about eManual Online later on in the video, but first let's go through the parts we've got. So we've got a brand new engine gasket set, so this should have every gasket for the entire engine. There's always going to be one that's missing, so we maybe might have a problem when it comes to that, but for now that should be enough. Piston rings, I'm keeping the standard pistons. I'm not going any oversize. In a moment we'll hone the cylinders a bit just to clean them up, but the standard pistons are going in with new piston rings. There's a head bolt set, which I don't think I needed to use. I think you can reuse the old ones, but it's just good practice since they're not very expensive. This is timing chain kit with some lube, a new thermostat because why not? Brake master cylinder. I had a problem before in an earlier video where the front brakes were sticking on. Calipers have been replaced, the brake hose has now been replaced. The problem is still there, so it only leaves the master cylinder. We have a new water pump, again, because, well, the old one I think was a bit noisy, but it's good practice. It's not very expensive while we're here anyway. Now, the big hold-up was the crankshaft. So this is the original crankshaft that came out of the car. I can't really show you because I'll turn it upside down, but the original bearing shells were pretty worn. Pretty badly worn. You can see it in an earlier video, and if you can see, there's quite heavy scoring on there. Basically, I was going to get it ground. I'd give it to my engine builder. He struggled to find the technical specs he needed to grind it down. In the meantime, I managed to find a replacement crankshaft, so we're going to fit that one. The engine builder, while they were there, also skimmed my heads, so thank you very much to GJG Engineering near Rye. As always, do a great job. We use them at work all the time. So, first things first. Obviously, the entire block needs a clean. It really is pretty grubby. I'm going to make a mess anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is hone the cylinders. I have my honing tool, you can see is brand new. I will confess I've never done this before. Lots and lots of research have gone into this. I've seen it done before. I quite like watching the videos, to be honest. So I think I've got a pretty good idea, so let's see how bad this goes. Firstly, I'm not going to do anything with this side yet. I still need to clean the surface up, and what I don't want to do is get bits in the cylinder after I've honed it. It just isn't good practice. So over here you'll see we have a nice shiny deck. If I take a closer look at the cylinders, can you see this scoring here? That's not good. It's pretty much the same on every single one. That is what we're going to be trying to get rid of through our honing process. Simple case of honing oil, or in my case I've got hydraulic oil. It's apparently the next best thing according to my research. I'm going to put lots and lots in there, lube it all up. I'm going to put a tray underneath actually to catch the mess, because it will make a mess. I'm then going to go through, set up the honing tool. This is all adjustable, which I can't really do one hand, but it goes in like that, and then the fingers will spread out, and basically in and out slowly, medium speed on the drill. And we're going to try and get a nice crosshatch pattern on the bore. Once I've done that, I will then lube it all up again, and I'll probably put a load of tape on it just so that I don't get any mess in there before I put the pistons back in. Yeah, and then we can do the same on the other side. And it should be that simple. Right, so still got a little bit more to go yet. Hopefully you can see more of a cross hatch kind of pattern. We've still got some deep lines, I don't think you can quite see in the camera, which again, I'm not too bothered about. But compare that to that, and try to get the light in there, we are. You can see there's a significant difference. So I'm gonna do a little bit more on that, get the other three done. Like I said, never done this before, but yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okie dokie, I'm pretty happy with this. As you can see, there's still, I think that's actually, there is a bit of a lip at the bottom there where the bottom of the, that's just as far as the bottom of the piston goes. It just shows how worn these bores are. Now, I could have, and was originally planning to change the engine. These engines aren't too easy to come by. I thought Chevy V8 makes parts easier, cheaper to find. But they are very expensive. Hence, I'm trying to save this one as much as we can. And it ran before, so it was just a bit smoky. As you can see, you can still see the vertical lines. I don't want to take too much out of this if I can get away with it. Hence, I've left a lot of the lines. You can't feel them so much now. And you can see there's a good crosshatch. I have also cleaned this side of the block as well, and honed. This side actually has come out much better. There's much less, you can see some vertical lines there, there's much less in the way of vertical lines. But like I said, I didn't want to take too much out of it in one hit, because at the end of the day, you are taking material out of the bore. So yeah, pretty happy with that. First time I've done it, I'm happy with that. I think the only other thing I'm going to do in this video, I think, is get the crankshaft in. So I need to turn this up, turn this around, which is quite easy on my stand. I just pull the pin out and spin her around. I'm going to get my manual that e-manual online kindly sent to me. I'm going to get it up on my phone, and we're going to have a look for some torque settings. Okay, so I've cleaned the bottom of the block as well. We had some gasket stuff left here. Obviously, all of the old bearings are in. They just prise out like so. There we go. So I'm going to clean inside there as well in a moment. This one's going to be a little bit tricky out. Might need to just tap that with a hammer as well. That first one was pretty easy. This is what I was saying about earlier. This is one of the shells, and you can see the discoloration on it, and all the others are pretty flat. I know this engine did have oil pressure problems at one point, and I think it wasn't run for very long, but it was enough just to wear them out. This box here, they are the conrod bearings, so I'm going to leave them there for a moment. This is the box we want with the crank bearings. Yeah, so I'm gonna get all of these out, give these shell casings a bit of a clean up, just because they're covered in oil, and although they're going to be covered in oil in the engine anyway, it's just nicer to assemble it if it's all dry. Obviously get these ones out as well, and then it is just a case of pop them back in, and then I've got to carefully lift the crank in, and the crank is very, very heavy. So I've got to line that up perfectly, drop it in, and then I shall show you my manual that I got from e-manual online. Don't know if I've mentioned them before. Right, unfortunately I think I've hit a dead end for this video. All of the main bearings there, as you can see, are in and looking good. Same with the caps. Now this little groove here had a little, I don't know what it was a bit of a mess of a washer. It's like a rear main seal. Now I've just had a look in my engine gasket set, and I don't have one. Here we got sump gasket, option on sump gasket, cam cover gaskets. These I thought for a minute would be correct, but they're too small. So yeah, there's no point me putting the crankshaft in just yet, because obviously we haven't got all the seals, and that's not going to be possible to put that on after the event, because it's got a nice kind of taper to it. So yeah, the next step on this would be put the crankshaft in, put the caps on, torque the caps to spec, which you will see in the next video.